right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. I want to thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the Critics Collective. I have Iris here, and today we are going to be discussing Moana 2. I know we're a little bit late, and we apologize. The holidays, lifey. We wanted to get it to you as soon as possible, but I am thankful that Iris and I are able to come together and do this thing now. How you doing, Iris?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Excited to talk about this one.
I know. I know you've been waiting. You saw it as soon as it dropped, and I felt
Oh,
bad that I had
what?
you waiting this long, but at least we're
Not
here now.
even the
So
day before it officially was supposed to drop.
that's
I
true.
did
That's
that
true.
early
You was in
release.
the
I was like,
first show,
mm-hmm. I was
and I
there. I
felt
was
so bad.
ready.
I wanted to be right there with you, and I was like, "Oh, I can't do it. I'm sorry," but here we are. Here we are. All right. So Moana, if you haven't seen, we did talk about the first Moana from 2016. It is available on the Critics Collective page. Go back and watch that. And we're gonna do our best to talk about two as quickly as possible without spoiling for you. So if you guys haven't watched the movie yet, then hopefully this will be a treat for you. And if you have watched it, let us know in the comments if you agree, disagree, anything of that nature. And also, don't forget, if you do enjoy the content that we're putting out for you on our reviews and critiques on all things media, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, alert button, and join the collective community. Every little interaction helps the page and allows us to keep moving forward to give you the content that we love to give you. All right. So, Moana 2, now in theaters. The synopsis per IMDb goes: after receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors, Moana must join a journey to the far seas of Oceania, to dangerous, long lost waters for an adventure unlike anything she's ever faced. All right, so expanding on the universe. Initial
Mhm.
impressions, Iris, talk to me about it. How did you feel? What was your initial impression when you found out Moana 2 was coming out?
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little scared because you know how number twos, threes, and fours, and all that never are as good as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Or they push out, a new one, but they don't take enough time to think of a new story. And it's like a remake of what we already saw, but just like in a different order. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's always garbage. So I was excited, but I was also really, really nervous because I was like, oh God, don't mess this up.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I was a little nervous too. I was excited. I was like, okay, all right, Moana 2, let's do it. I was like, I'm definitely gonna watch it, but in the back of my mind, I was a little nervous as well because we know how these sequels can be when they just trying to hurry up and get something to get the people in the seats without
Yeah.
actually really putting some effort into it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into your highs and lows, whichever one you want to give me first. Come on with it.
Well, with my highs, I love that we got an introduction of new characters. That they expanded on the journey with the cast and who has to help her along the way. I like that. I like that they put a little bit more because with the first one they kept the main cast very small, very to the point. So yes, I do have to say one of my biggest highs is that we were able to have more of a cast for this journey on this one. Um, of course, all the cultural incorporation, all the colors, all the vibrancy of what you're visually seeing when you're watching the movie. Love it. I love it. I loved it in the first one. I love it in this one. Um, I love Lin Manuel. All the scoring that he did, the music that he did for this movie, so good. Um, I wanna, the same way for the first, movie, I caught on the songs and I was singing and going along with it. Definitely got to get, the album for this for this one as well, so I can learn all the words to my Moana 2 movie. But I think the only low I had for the entire movie was the purpose of, and I do apologize if I pronounce the character's name wrong, Matanji, the bat chick.
Uh huh.
So in a lot of the teasers, they made it seem like this was our bad guy, you know. Um, and a lot of people were complaining about it, blah blah blah. So I don't know if maybe originally Matanji was the direction they were going as a bad guy, and because of all of the hate that it was getting, like
Mm,
because people just felt like it didn't work. Maybe they changed direction
mm,
with that. But I felt like the little bit of glimpse that we got of her wasn't enough. Cause I'm like, okay, what really is her purpose? Um, was she really needed? Couldn't they have, with the situation that Moana was in during that time, couldn't they have done something different to help her out with that one? Um, Instead of introducing this character that we just got a little of. And I
mm.
just feel like, okay, what's her purpose? But then again, I also thought, okay, maybe they're setting the groundwork for the next one. Like, hey, we're going to introduce her in this one, but she plays a bigger role in the next one. you know um they could go either, they could go that way with that, we don't know. But yeah, other than that, I can't really say I had very big complaints about this movie, because it was a totally different story, and I know really in the Polynesian culture they have so many different types of mythologies that Disney can definitely write and blend together, so that we're not getting the same thing, over and over again. Other than the fact that, hey, she's going to go on a journey and we just don't know what the journey is going to be, but we know it's going to be somewhere on the water.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I have no complaints, and I'm really excited to see where the rest of the Moana line is going to take us.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. So I'm not going to, most of your highs are similar to mine. So I'm not going to go into detail. I'm just going to check them off. And then, of
Mhm.
course, I have lows. But
Mhm.
work with me. Work with me. Okay. So highs, as expected, the animation was great. All right. The representation was on point. You already mentioned that, so we're not going to go any deeper into that. The overall story, opening up the world to more possibilities, taking it beyond where it went last time. I thought that was great. The
Mhm.
continuous evolution of Moana. I'm not
Mhm.
spoiling it, but there was, in the first movie we got, she was chosen by the ocean, and we got a certain level of Moana, and on this one they took it to another level. So I was very
Mhm.
pleased with that, the continuous evolution. Okay. Now I am gonna get into my lows. So for me, the songs didn't have the same magic as is the first one, which is always the case, like we mentioned before. When they do these sequels, it's sometimes it's just a rush to get those people in those seats. And the songs didn't have the same magic. That there wasn't anything that had me eventually nodding my head and humming or thinking like, hey, I want to get that. But to each his own. You enjoyed it, Jessica enjoyed it, but for me, I was just like, yeah, the first one actually caught me from jump. I was just like, the vocals and everything, I was just like, okay, all right, look at me over here trying not to sing along, you know what I'm saying? But this one didn't pull me in like that. The additional characters that they added for the crew, in my opinion, was a bad idea. I felt like I hated every bit of it. I that is
Mhm.
such a dangerous mission. Everybody didn't want her to go from the beginning because they never left the island. So those people didn't have that kind of experience. Then they were worried about her going again because whoever left in the past never came back. So then you take these random people who have no idea, and then they're making the mission harder. And I was just like, this is annoying the hell out of me. It was so distracting how stupid those characters were being, how pointless some of them were, in my opinion. I'm not gonna say who to what because I don't spoil, but I was just like, why? Now, what I will say, there were some characters towards the end, right, that could have been introduced sooner and added to the mission. They would have made more sense. And I can't
Mhm.
spoil and say how, but there's a way that they introduced in the story that it could have been happen. It could have happened. They could have been brought in and all been combined for this journey. But I don't want to spoil it. If you want to entertain me with that in the comments, and Irish, you and I can talk after, I can break it down. But if I say it now, I'm going to spoil a whole lot. But there was a
Okay.
way it could have been done. Okay, and those other characters, just their reaction to the threat that they were in and danger was like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, okay, anyway, it just kept taking me out of it. All right. So, but when I saw the little kids dancing, singing, and laughing at all of the stuff that was annoying me, I realized I needed to shut up. This movie is not for me. And I needed to just stop trying to make it a stronger story. Now, could it have been executed better? Could it have been tighter writing? Could it have? Yes, it absolutely could have. But did it serve its purpose? Yes. So I need to basically just back off it, shut up, and enjoy it for what it was. And I did. And I will watch another Moana if we get one. Okay. So, and those are my highs and lows. Now, before we go into rating this, I do want to ask you, Iris,
Mhm.
did you see the mid-credit scene?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So, in my opinion, to what you were saying, I think she is gonna, that character you mentioned is gonna have a stronger role. I feel like her
Yeah.
goal, I feel like because of how long it takes to do animation, I don't think that there was a shift in what they were planning. I think this was always the plan because it does take a long time, longer to do animation. And if they would have had to scrap and redo stuff, that would have cost them a lot more money. So I think this
Mm,
was always the plan, make you
okay.
feel like, distract you with this one person, and then you end up getting something bigger and greater, almost like a Thanos type build up type situation. And now we
Yeah.
realize we got an even bigger situation going on that's gonna, and I think she's gonna have a bigger role in the next
Matanji
one,
is Loki.
basically. Right. So I feel like that's what they were doing, like just, and then that character's motivation I felt like was pretty clear. And that also ties into something I was saying earlier. But if you want to talk in the comments, we can talk in the comments. So leave it at that. Leave it at that. All right. All right. All
No
right. So
spoilers, no spoilers.
let's give this thing some accolades. If you join us for the first time, we have a 5-point system where we give it accolades like trophies. If you want to rate it, please let us know in the comments what you think. All right, our accolade system is the Critics Collective accolades as follows. 5 accolades means excellent, a must watch, highly recommended for all viewers. 4 accolades, good, worth watching, but has notable flaws. 3 accolades is average, some enjoyable moments, but lacks significant impact. 2 accolades, below average, some redeeming qualities, but generally disappointing. 1 accolade, poor quality, not recommended. And 0 accolades is horrible, absolute trash. All right, so Iris, how many accolades are you giving this one?
I'm giving it a 4.
Oh, you didn't give it 5. Wow. I was
What?
expecting you to be like
No,
5,
no.
5, 5, 5, 5.
No, I would say Moana, the first Moana is a 5 for me.
Uh-huh.
And this one is a 4. Because
Okay.
one thing, like how you mentioned with the music, I enjoyed the music. I did. I do. And I do want to get the album. I do want to learn the words to a lot of the music. But you are right that yes, it was good, but the music wasn't first Moana good.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
those songs in the first one were hitting it.
Hit.
Now, these ones, they're still good, but it's giving me a little tap, but you ain't hitting it good,
I got you. I
So
got you. All right, so I am actually right there with you. I'm gonna give it 4 accolades. It was a good movie. It's worth watching, but there were the notable flaws to me. You're still taking me out, even though, like I said, this movie served its purposes, not for me. I understand if everybody wants to come down on me for giving it a 4 and not a 5, but it did what it was supposed to do. It was very good. I recommend everybody watch it, and like I said, I will watch another Moana if we get one. If we get one. All right.
Mhm.
Yes. So Moana 2 is in theaters now. Please, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the alert button, be a part of the collective community. Make sure you share this video and keep the conversation going. Let us know what you thought. And also shout out to the Kakamora character. He was actually my favorite. And I see
Yes.
you got him back there. I forgot to mention that.
Yes, I did. I
He
got
he
him.
was my favorite. He was a G. He was doing what he needed to do for the cause. He was ready to
Yeah.
sacrifice it all.
Yes, he was. He was ready. Like
He was ready
he was like, take one for the team.
for the team,
Like
whatever it needed to
he
be done.
was gangster compared
He,
to the rest of them. I was like,
he
all y'all
really
bitches is
was.
garbage. And he's like yay big compared to
Right.
y'all.
And
And
he
he's
was ready to
like,
face whatever.
I'm gonna die for it. Like,
Let's
yeah,
do
for
it. Let's do
real.
it.
I was like, homie was a gangster. Like he's like the rest of y'all bitches.
Right. And he didn't have to say it. You could just tell by his
strong.
body language that he didn't have to say it. You could just feel it coming off him. But I can talk about him all day. But anyway,
Yes,
I want to thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the Critics Collective. This was Moana 2. You guys see it in theaters, and we will see you guys on the next one.